get him out of here.
I will build a great, great wall.
We have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out. Many, many, many millions of dollars.
Guys, what is going on? It is James. And you're listening to the Westy. It's so nice to be with you guys today on a Saturday. Beautiful day outside. The birds are chirping. There's no snow on the goddamn ground. We're having a good time. Right, boys? Lots to talk about today. We have a couple of things. I'm going to start the show off with this. Oh man, this is a good one. Let's turn the view down a little bit. So I'm going to be talking. I watched the movie The Founder. It's kind of the story of McDonald's. We are going to do. I'm going to do a review on that movie a little bit later. Whether or not you should see it or not see it, that is up to you. I'll let you decide. We're also going to talk about Payback, WWE Payback. That is tomorrow night. Because I like talking about wrestling. And I like watching wrestling. I don't know why, but I do. And I'm going to start things off by talking about this festival. There's a festival in the Bahamas. And I'm going to tie it back to another famous festival that happened a couple years ago. But for starters, so it's called the Fire Festival. It's all the way down. It's called the Fire Festival and it's in the Bahamas. It was run by the man known as Ja Rule. I guess he's like a founder or something or whatever. And so basically what happened is conditions were deplorable. I don't know, like you look at pictures and there's big giant cabanas and you're thinking like, oh, this is like royalty and stuff. And it's not. Like those are emergency like huts for people because things are so bad down there. And it was supposed to have, the artist was supposed to be like Blink-182 and I think I saw Major Lazer. Oh yeah. So I don't really know who Tiga is. Don't get me wrong, I don't know. Major Lazer, Pusha T. And tickets to this thing were going between $4,000 and $12,000. And they had this custom Boeing airplane to fly them there, whatever. And everybody's saying that they've been scammed, it's a disaster. They went to get food and it was like cheese and bread and it was supposed to be this big thing, and people were bitching that it's like being in prison. And could you imagine, for starters, shelling out $4,000 for a trip and you're like, this is what it is, right? I've seen pictures. Yeah, we got cheese and bread and salad. Wow, what a disaster. People have got lockers with no locks. They had to bring their own locks. Weird. Chaos. Oh man, it's not good. Not good. So anyways, it looks like the Fire Festival has been fully postponed, which in my opinion, it's probably the best idea. I think they're going to get fined and sued and all this other stuff. So it's not going to be a good time for Ja Rule. He's going to have to give a lot of money back, in my opinion. So that's the Fire Festival. It made me start thinking about 1999. Where were you in 1999? Why do I ask that? Because at that time, everybody was complaining, oh, Y2K is coming. And I remember, like, on a different subject again, I remember like Y2K and everybody was like freaking out. Y2K, like what the hell is going to happen? The world's going to explode. Of course, nothing happened. It was all just in our heads. But anyways, 1999, Woodstock 1999. I remember it because I was in Ottawa seeing family with my parents. And I remember kind of like looking in the papers and the news and all this other stuff. And there were full-blown riots. And you know the cause of the riots was Limp Bizkit. And now I'll never understand how Limp Bizkit ended up being You know, like at the time they were the shit, right? I guess they were the main draw. Everybody loved them. You went on Much Music. They were always on TV. It didn't matter what song it was. They had a bloody video for it. But I remember like looking at these, like the footage and like just this ravage of people and just fire and whatever, and all because of Limp Bizkit. Now it just made me think about how there hasn't been a Woodstock since then, or there might have been. I don't know. Yeah, no, there hasn't been. That was it. Green Day was 1994, I think. That was when they were playing on stage live. Obviously, they'd be live, and they were. I remember like it was raining, so they had like mud thrown at them, and like remember Billy Joe, he's playing guitar, trying to play the guitar, and mud everywhere. Holy shit! But Woodstock 1999 was a good time. I wasn't there. Again, I'm just gonna kind of Google some of the stuff about 1999. Held in upstate New York, in Rome, New York. 400,000 people attended the festival. Now, I bet you there's probably festivals now that hold 1 million people. I would not be surprised. And I've always wondered that, like when a band's on stage, like, I guess it's probably, do they like playing for 500,000 people, or do they like playing for 100 people? I've always actually wondered that. I've always wanted to ask these bands that come into Winnipeg, be like, hey guys, like, what do you guys think? But never really had a chance to talk to them. A couple weeks ago, I went to go see Good Charlotte, right? This is a true story. And I was, silly me, I'm thinking, like, when I'm at work, I'm just thinking about everything and anything. And I remember wanting to ask Joel Madden, who's the guitarist there. No, sorry, Benji. He's the guitarist for Good Charlotte. And I remember wanting to ask him. I had all these questions in my head, right? So I wanted to ask him about like Paris Hilton and like just anything, you know. So I started thinking, like, what can I answer? I was pretty haggard. I was pretty drunk. I'm not gonna lie. Did some gambling. And then after me and my fiance were heading to her car, right? We're gonna drive home. And all of a sudden, I'm not lying, Benji Madden walks down the hallway. He's got no paparazzi following him or anything, right? And I'm like, oh, this is it. This is my goddamn chance to ask him all these questions I had in my head, right? And he's looking down on his phone, and I'm like, I don't blame him, you know, whatever. So I walk up to him, and I'm like, great show tonight. And I fist bumped him, and that was it. So I was like, and then I walked away, and I was like, you could have asked him anything. This was your chance. Like, I visualized the moment, and oh man, I epic failed. But Woodstock 1999 was a shit show. Fire. And there was a lot there. There was a lot. So George Clinton, I don't know who the hell that was. Jamiroquai, James Brown, Limp Bizkit, Creed, Sheryl Crow, The Tragically Hip, Rage Against the Machine, Metallica, Megadeth. You'd think Metallica would there'd be riots and stuff too, right? Apparently, part of the reason why Woodstock was, screwed from the start, the heat. People did not like the heat because it was too hot. And there was not a lot of shade, so you were fucked. Hate to swear, but participants were not allowed to bring water or food in the venue. You would think, right? Whatever. A 10-inch pizza, $12. 20-ounce drink, water bottles for $4. Not too bad. Kid Rock, during Kid Rock's set, demanded the crowds throw water bottles on the stage. Cool. Yeah, so, violence. Violence erupted when Limp Bizkit played. Fans started tearing plywood from the walls during the song Break Stuff. A lot of sexual assaults. Wow. Anyways, so I kind of don't remember too much about it, but I do remember being in, holy jeez, it's not a good time. I don't know what the hell happened. I'm surprised nobody died. I'm surprised nobody died at Woodstock. Anyways, Woodstock 1999. There's probably a reason why they're not back there. I'm a firm believer in having a good time at a show. I used to be the mosh pit guy. Used to be in the mosh pits all the time. But not anymore. Sometimes, depends on the show. I more like to stay on the outside. Like I kind of like the feeling like, hey, I can get hit, but I don't like to get hit. I remember walking out Day to Remember. Yeah, I went to go see Day to Remember with my buddy Jason about 3-4 years ago. And I'm standing in the front. Why I'm standing in the front, I have no idea. I just wanted to get in there. And I was wearing my Crocs, right? So third song in, I'm like, this is it. This is the moment. I jump. I start just pushing kids everywhere. Like everywhere you go, 12-year-olds left and right. It's kind of embarrassing, but whatever. At the time, it was cool, right? So I'm wearing Crocs, right? And all of a sudden, third song, I'm Made of Wax, comes on. And I feel like this prick on my foot, on my toe. And I'm like, what the hell is this, right? I was too scared to look because anytime I kind of moved it, it felt like it was a sharp pain. I was like, oh no, something's wrong. But I was too scared to look, right? And long story short, I'm pretty sure some little shithead stepped on my toe and broke my toe. It's still broken. I got one bum toe. It's the one next to my big toe. Whatever the name of that one is. But I'm more or less, I like to rather just kind of stay on the outside of a mosh pit. Don't know why. It's just kind of the way I am. So not Jay-Z, Ja Rule. I guess this is, I mean, I would have paid $4 to see him if he was doing a concert himself. $4. Did I say $4 or 4,000? $4. No, 4,000. Ooh, that's a good song. Still of the Night by Whitesnake. In the still of the night. Anyways, that is Woodstock. So, do you guys have any memories of Woodstock? I'm very curious to know. I'm actually going to put that on my Facebook page right now. We're going to do that. Woodstock 1999. What do you remember about it? Anyways, that is that. Payback is coming up. Payback Talk is coming up. I'm just going to first do a thing for Woodstock 1999. Where were you? I don't really, actually, to be honest with you, I don't know this song at all. So we're at 14 minutes in. I'm kind of just talking about just nonstop shit. So WWE Payback is this Sunday, which is tomorrow. I'm going to go through maybe 4 matches. What I think is going to happen, what a reality is going to happen. We're going to start with Bayley and Alexa Bliss. It is for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Now, in my opinion, Alexa Bliss is getting a huge push right now. And I'm starting to think that maybe she is going to end up being the champion. So I could see her being the champion. I could see her beating Bayley. Bayley's a little cutie, but I don't think she is as good as Alexa Bliss. So I see Alexa Bliss winning this and become the champion. Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. I kind of like Braun Strowman. I don't like I've said before, I see why people don't like Roman Reigns, but he's a huge draw. People love him. People buy his merchandise. He's not going anywhere. The winner of this match will probably be... That's a tough one. I'm going to say Roman Reigns will win that one, only because of what happened to him a couple weeks ago. Strowman pushed him in an ambulance, although we all know he wasn't in the ambulance, but don't tell anybody, right? Roman Reigns wins that one. Neville versus Austin Aries. The winner of that will be Austin Aries. That's for the Cruiserweight Championship. Trying to push Aries. Neville, just don't see him as a bad guy. Hardy Boys versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Winners of that I could see being Cesaro and Sheamus, only because Hardy Boys got thrown into WrestleMania. They won the championships. All this great stuff, but you gotta kind of tone it down a little bit. They almost got too ahead of themselves, right? Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho. The winner of the match will be Kevin Owens. Although I know Chris Jericho is actually going to be taking some time off. I think he's taking May off to do his band stuff. So yeah, I could see Owens winning, and then all of a sudden Jericho's just out of action for a month or two or whatever. Kevin Owens wins that one. And the main event, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. House of Horrors match. To be honest with you, I don't know enough to say what a House of Horrors match is. Sounds intriguing. A lot of shit's probably going to happen. The winner of that, I could see being Bray Wyatt, only because that would make it 1 versus 1, and the next match, next big pay-per-view, the two will probably fight it out for the championship. So I could see Bray Wyatt winning that one. It's kind of his match. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I'm going to click on the number 29 here. No one really knows what a House of Horrors match is, unless you know, because I don't know. It does sound good though. It took a while, weird. Anyways, so that's Bill Burr does that. But he's like also a million times funnier than me. And now we're gonna shift things to The Founder. I just watched that. It's got starring Michael Keaton. It's the story of McDonald's. Now, I didn't know the story of McDonald's at all. I just assumed I knew. And it's kind of a cool story to be honest. So basically, there's two brothers. His names were Dick and Mac. They owned a McDonald's in San Bernardino, California, right? And there's this businessman who's played by Michael Keaton. His name's Ray Kroc. Now, you kind of like, in my opinion, you like Kroc at the beginning, right? Played by Michael Keaton, right? You like him. He's a struggling businessman, and he's got ideas, but nothing ever happens. He sounds a lot like me, right? So I can kind of relate to him a little bit. And so he gets a phone call because he's selling these milkshake things, right? Gets a call, and these two brothers want milkshakes delivered to their business, right? So he goes to the business and he sees how amazing this McDonald's is, and he's like, I gotta get a piece of this, right? So you see in the movie, maybe this is more of a spoiler. I don't want to spoil things, but maybe we're not going to stick to being a spoiler because you might watch it. But I actually think it was kind of a cool movie. Normally, lately, I've been watching a lot of comedy movies. This wasn't really a comedy. This was more of a... no, you know what? It was more of a dramatic drama movie with a pinch of comedy. But it's kind of cool to see what Kroc did. You know, how, whether or not the story is exactly word for word true, you know. It's kind of cool to see how the story happened, you know, like it's just one of those things. Hey, that sounds like good movie. I give it out of 5 stars. I give it a solid 3.5. It kind of loses me a little bit about the middle of the movie. Again, I don't want to spoil anything. And the ending, a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the words here. I'm blanking. Good movie. That's all I gotta say. That's the Founder movie review. Good movie. Good movie. Yep, good movie. 20 minutes in, you waited the whole 20 minutes to hear my review of the movie, and it's good. Who's the sucker now, right? So I'm going to try and watch another movie next week, and I'll give you guys my movie review of the next movie that I watch. I don't know what I'm going to watch, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm looking forward to summer and spring. A lot of movies are coming out. You've got Transformers. You've got Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a lot of good time to be had coming up. And with that, that's all I got for you today. Enjoy your Saturday, and I'll see you guys on the bus tomorrow. Peace.